Who is Adam Jiricek? We will attempt to answer that question here on our latest NHL draft profile on Locked on Wild. Let's go to Scott Wheeler's thoughts on Adam Jiricek. Adam Jiricek, the younger brother of Blue Jackets top prospect David Jiricek, is a summer birthday who worked his way from junior into Czechia's top pro rung as a 16-year-old last season. He lost this season to a pair of knee injuries, one right before the World Juniors and then another almost right away in the tournament, the latter of which required surgery and ended his season. Though, and even before he went down, Wheeler didn't think his draft year had gone as well as he would have hoped and was starting to question why some were as high on him as they were. Still, it's not a coincidence he played atop Czechia's defense alongside Los Angeles Kings draft pick Jakub Dvorak, even as an underager at last year's U18 Worlds, and it's not a coincidence he made the early jump to the pro game. He was also excellent at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. He doesn't have quite the presence his brother has, but Adam plays the game with confidence and intention and has shown real ambition at times against his peers. He's got good four-way mobility and active disposition. He has also shown at the pro level that he can simplify and play a more effective game, balanced shooting mechanics, and an eye for spacing and for identifying opportunities to jump on both sides of the puck, plus legit skill with the puck to build on. There are definitely tools and room to grow his game and fill out his frame. He's also competitive. Wheeler likes his defensive habits, and he's got size and ability. Wheeler also remains a little more cautious in his evaluation of him than most scouts because he feels a little more raw than the defenseman in front of him on the rankings, and the injury is a setback. Wheeler thought about ranking him one or two spots lower here. Let's go to the hockey writers. Adam Jiricek, profile from Matthew Zater. He is ranked, according to NHL Central Scouting, 4th among European skaters. The hockey writers had him 14th, 18th, and 12th. Bob McKenzie of TSN had him 14th. Craig Button, 9th. Dauber Prospects has him 22nd, and Smart Scouting has him 8th. Here's the profile from Matthew Zater. Heading into the 2023-2024 season, Adam Jiricek was being mentioned alongside top 10 locks Artem Levshinov and Sam Dickinson. Now he's dropped to the top 20 in a few rankings and could end up being a steal for a team that is on track to make the playoffs this season. The drop is not based off performance, though, as he's been injured since the first game of the 2024 World Juniors. After having surgery on his knee shortly after, he has also been ruled out of the 2024 U18 World Championship, yet another showcase event for scouts to further evaluate top prospects. Basically, all scouts have is video and live viewings from the first few months of the regular season in Czechia and the Hlinka Gretzky tournament last summer, where he was one of Team Czechia's best players. That's not a lot of recent play to go off of, especially when his peers have been playing and improving around him. Despite that, Jiricek is still a high-end talent with the potential to become a solid top 4 or even top pairing defenseman in the future. His strengths lie in his size, skating, mobility, and first pass. Similar to his brother David, who was drafted by the Columbus Blue Jackets in 2022, he is a he's a well-rounded two-way player that can be used in all situations from the power play to the penalty kill and everywhere in between. He isn't shy about taking the body either. Once he bulks up and fills into his 6'2" frame, he's going to be a scary presence when opponents enter the offensive zone against him. Jiricek also has a bomb from the point, but some scouts have pointed out he doesn't always make it to the net with enough frequency. It's great to have a big shot, but if it doesn't make it to the goaltender, it's kind of useless. Getting shots through traffic is a skill in and of itself. And for it to be a legitimate weapon in the future, he has to work on that aspect of it. Another weakness of Jiricek is his skating style. While he has good acceleration and mobility, it sometimes looks awkward as he moves up the ice. But with some work with a skating coach, that can easily be ironed out in the future. As a result, Zader is not too worried about that aspect. All in all, he has a massive ceiling as a modern defensive defenseman like Devon Taves, Charlie McAvoy, or Jacob Slavin. Defenders that are good all around, can move the puck, and provide solid, no-nonsense play in their own zone. Here's the projection for Jiricek. Despite the injury, Jiricek should still be selected in the first round, just not in the top 10 like everyone expected before the World Juniors. His overall package might be too difficult to ignore for many teams, especially for the ones that miss out on Levshinov, Dickinson, Boyum, and Parik. Zader sees him going around the 15 to 20 mark, maybe even to a team that makes the playoffs. So that is a look at Adam Jiricek. Just looking at some of the other rankings here. Number 30th overall prospect by EliteProspects.com. As mentioned, 22 for Daily Faceoff. So some of the things that I like here too is even just mentioning that a player has all the tools needed to translate to a modern defenseman that can give you a little bit on both sides. That I like. That is somebody that you can plug in and not have to worry about as really at all. Somebody that has profile as for sure top 4, but maybe even a top pairing defenseman too. Now, the injuries obviously are a concern, but you're talking about a 17-year-old kid here who certainly has plenty of time to bounce back from them. Utilizing the shot more and some of the skating, as Zader pointed out, are things that you can develop. That's where the development side of this comes into play. You can coach players up to taking more shots, and those are things that can be coached. But some of the other instincts, the size and the instinct to play that no nonsense type style, I like that. I like throwing that into this mix as somebody who's just going to do their job, and you don't have to worry about what they're doing on the back end. Now, statistically, just looking at Jiricek's stats, he played for HC Pilsen in 2021-2022, had 5 goals, 15 assists, 20 points in 36 games played, and 14 penalty minutes. In 2022-2023, he played for the HC Pilsen U20 team for 41 games. He had 12 goals there, 17 assists, 29 points, and 24 penalty minutes in 41 games. And this season, he has played for 5 different teams. The U20 team for Czechia played 3 games there with no points. HC Pilsen played 19 games, 1 point, and 2 penalty minutes. He played for the U18 team, had a goal, 3 assists, and 4 points in 9 games. So he has played at a bunch of different stops throughout his career so far. If he can recover from those injury woes, he would be another solid pick and is slotted in. Tankathon has him going 14th to the San Jose Sharks with their second pick. So he would be right in the mix too. Another defenseman with some size and maybe not as much offensive acumen or bulldog as a guy like Carter Yakimchuk has, but still would be right there for the Minnesota Wild if they elect to take him at 13. So there is a look at Adam Jiricek. And if he is the pick for the Minnesota Wild at 13, welcome into the Minnesota Wild organization.